So guys, welcome back to another video. This is the final week now of the mini cut. It was meant to end last week, but me and Faye went away for her birthday. We went to Aberystwyth, which is like mid-Wales, so it was a cheap holiday overall. And because of the weather, it was probably one of the nicest holidays I've been on, like, probably ever, Faye. How was it for you?
Oh, it's lovely.
Like, we had like a little, if I find some pictures I will, I'll put them here. I definitely have some. We're on like a little beachside cabin, and it was literally on the beach, but because it wasn't bank holiday, we had pretty much the whole beach to ourselves, so it's really nice. But anyway, final week of the mini cut. Calories are a little bit higher because I was starting to feel the effects of like dieting, and I only wanted to lose an extra like pound anyway. I should have just kind of, like, looking back, if it's a client that I had, I would have probably just ended it on this weekend, like yesterday. But my like OCD was that I had a set body weight that I wanted to hit, so I will hit it, so I'll do it for another week. But the calories are up by 400 or 500, so I'm on 2,750 today. Macros are like here, so there'll be 220 protein, 350 grams of carbs, and I think 60 grams of fat on a training day. No, 55 grams of fat on a training day. So you'll see that today. It's a bit of a weird full day of eating today because it's a bank holiday, and I usually train first thing in the morning, but the gym's not open till 9. Me and Faye are going to go and do some work in Cafe Nero, but there's like a big, it's bank holiday weekend, so there's like a big event. It's called the Extravaganza. It's like a fairground event in North Wales, where we live. So that'll be really busy. So we'll go to the coffee shop. It's now 7:30. We'll go straight after this until it's busy, so for about 10:30. And then I'll eat meal 2, and that'll be a pre-workout meal on a train. So the first meal is, you see looking up here, I'll show you when it's done. I have 3 eggs, 3 egg whites, 1 piece of sourdough toast, sauerkraut, and then either 100 grams of frozen raspberries, or I'll have them with my meal 2. Because I was so used to eating 2,200 calories, this feels like a lot of food to me. Obviously I was in like a 1,200 calorie deficit based on how fast I was losing. So I'm still in like a good, decent deficit. I've also reduced my steps from 12,000 to 10,000 again, just to take some fatigue off. I had a deload last week when I was away with Faye. So I'm like loving training again. And I've completely changed my split. Well, I haven't completely changed it. I've changed it quite a lot for the first time, literally since I was being coached by my last coach. So like 3 years ago. So just less frequency on the hams and glutes, even though they're my weak body part. I was just doing too much. It was 3 times a week. I wasn't recovering for each one. So volume similar. I've just kept it to legs now. And my pull day today, which I'll show you quickly, but I'll go over in another video, is pretty much completely changed. My back's my strongest body part. It had quite a bit of hams and adductors on it. Now it's got a bit more arms. But I'll show you in the future anyway. I just want to have a few weeks where I kind of get used to the new program. So guys, here's the final product. Always have your eggs boiled. I mean, to be fair, I usually fry them because it's a bit easier. But if you boil them, it's really not that hard, and they are so much nicer. So I've got 3 of them, like hiding the 1 piece of toast that I have. Literally the only difference in this meal between last week was the sourdough toast. So this meal is very similar. And the next week when my food goes back up to maintenance, and the week after obviously the surplus, it will probably be just more sourdough toast. The fat will stay the same. The difference in this off season is that the fats will be a little bit higher, but you'll see that as I progress into it. So 3 eggs, 3 egg whites, piece of sourdough toast, got 15 grams or 20 grams, sorry, of sauerkraut. I usually have the sauerkraut off the plate because I don't want it to like taint the toast, but for you guys. So me and Faye are gonna have this now. She's got like a measly version. She's got 2 eggs. I've obviously got 3 eggs and 3 egg whites, so we're not too far from each other. Yeah, we're gonna eat this, go to Nero, and probably clean the house later. I apologise for the tip that is in now. So catch you guys in a bit. So we're on the way to Nero. That meal was actually quite hard to eat, and I think it's because now that my appetite's starting to lessen after having, when me and Faye went away, I didn't just have a deload, I had like a week of maintenance calories as well, because I'm not gonna go on holiday for someone's birthday, or away for someone's birthday, at the end of a mini cut, on the last week when you're hungriest, on the lowest calories. I'm not gonna stay on them calories. Like, fair enough if you want to prep, you have to, you've got a timeline, but yeah, I can do what I want. No, we didn't, and I stayed at maintenance or slightly below on average across the week anyway. The camera angle is really low. That's it better. Yeah, so if anything, actually weight actually went up by about £1 or £2, but that's mainly just glycogen. It's starting to come back down now. But because of that, and because my calories are slightly higher again, just not quite maintenance, but somewhere like a slower rate of loss, my appetite's not that high, and usually I do like a half an hour walk before meal 1. I didn't this morning because of time. I did like 10-15 minutes. So that meal plus the egg whites were boiled. They're just more filling, which is a good tip for those who dieting. It made it so it's just a bit harder to eat, which is good because I'm not hungry, which is nice, and I'm sure I will be later. It's actually just got 8 o'clock, so we're a bit later than we planned to be. And like I said, there's that fair thing in town at the moment, so yeah, we'll go for 2 hours. If it's too busy, we'll just go for a walk instead, and we'll come back and do work. It'll be my second coffee of the day as well. My caffeine hasn't gone too high this mini cut. In mini cuts, usually my caffeine skyrockets. If anything, on prep it was lower than it was during mini cuts. I think on mini cuts, because it's more aggressive, you just kind of, and you know it's short term, so you just like think, I'll increase the caffeine, it's only temporary. So the worst it got this time was 2 coffees and a pre-workout a day, and the pre-workout's usually less than 200 milligrams. So up to 500 milligrams a day, so not too bad. I'm quite a tall person as well, I'll use that as an excuse. Whereas today I've had a coffee, I'm a Nero coffee now, and I've got 150 pre-workout because it's a pull session. I don't need much caffeine, I like pull, I really do. I switch on so easily, so I probably don't need any caffeine, but why would you do it to yourself? As this will be the final update of the mini cut, most likely on YouTube anyway, I started off at 195 pounds. My lightest I got was 176, I'm now 177.5, so I wanted to get to 176 pounds on average. So this week will probably be that week, and if not, I will end it. So it's worked out about 20 pounds over about 10 weeks, including obviously me and Faye going away for a bit. So it was quite an aggressive rate of loss. I lost most of it during the first part, and then I lost about 1% per week for the last 4 weeks. So quite aggressive. Cardio didn't have to go up 20 minutes once a week in the end for most of it. Steps 12,000 a day towards the end, and then 2 days I do 14,000 steps usually on a rest day. So that was my expenditure, and that was the max I'd like to do. I'm too busy to do more. And then food did get quite low. It was training day about 23.50, rest day about 2100. So I was going to go lower, but I just didn't think there was a need. So what you'll find is everyone's different. But for me, like, I'll literally hold weight for 10 days before it all comes off. So in the past, myself or coaches would obviously want to get the job done, so they reduce food anyway. What's the worst case scenario? Just increase it again. But I knew that sometimes if I held out, I'd drop weight, and I did. So every 10 days or so, every 14 days sometimes, I'd just drop like 4 or 5 pounds overnight, or over a couple of nights. But yeah, that's me. So, and then what I'll do is now I'll go back into an off season, 176 pounds, probably gain to about 178 straight away, just out of glycogen. And then I'll just gain again, probably to similar, 195 pounds. I'm like torn between staying a bit leaner, because I don't know if I'll compete again. So I'm torn between staying about 190 pounds max, and then dieting down to about 170, and then just, we'll see, maintaining or gaining or whatever you want to call it. Or I probably won't, I'll probably just slowly bulk. I don't think you can gain muscle in maintenance. Or just pushing to like 200 and just seeing how it looks on me. 195 was a bit sloppy, but this time will be obviously 8 months later, whatever it will be in total, so I should be bigger. So we'll see. I've got a lot of things I've changed, so it'll be exciting to see how the new split goes. Is anyone else? I really like old churches. No faders as well, right? And I'm not religious, so I don't know what it is, but every time I go somewhere new, I'll see.
As you get older, you appreciate architecture more.
That's what I'm old getting. But you know, like a really old abandoned church. There's something about that I really like. But
I'd love a chapel conversion.
that's how cool I am. What, like a house?
Yeah,
Anyway.
they would be haunted.
Anyway, we're going to go back to the car now. I'll show you meal 2, which for me is a pre-workout meal. It's a cream of rice meal, like I said about before. And then, like I said, I've got 20 grams of intra-workout as well, of carbs, no protein or EAAs. They don't really agree with me, and they're not really needed, so it's not worth the investment. It's in my bag. That's Faye's banana. You have anything now?
Yes, I will.
What are you having?
Just all the stuff that's mine.
Okay, there's your banana.
Thank you.
There's your dates.
Thank you.
This is Faye's full day of eating. And our cat bags right there. So that's my intro workout. That'll be my pre-workout, about 15 grams of caffeine, no, 150 milligrams of caffeine. And then in here is my meal, which I should have got out first. So I literally have raspberries on the side, so they're frozen raspberries. So the reason I have the raspberries on the side is the cream of rice meal, as you can see here, is chocolate. And I'm not a freak, so I don't like chocolate and raspberries together. So I'll have that on the side. Macros that'll be on the screen as always. But yeah, I'm gonna eat this. We're gonna go shopping, go for a walk, because the sun is trying even though it's cold. So Faye has bought me something that I've got to start my engine first. I've got to turn my steering wheel upside down, because I eat in the car a lot because of work. And Faye thought she'd help me out by buying me
This beauty.
Wow, you should advertise it. Yeah. What do you do again?
I'll show you. So, and like so, and then it just clips into place beautifully.
Oh wow, look at that. Is that going to be safe to hold my food?
Absolutely. And then, oh, it's like a snake.
Oh my god.
And then,
oh, look at that.
Beautiful.
Well,
I'm just going to eat off my knee like a peasant.
Faye has been more excited for me to use this than I have been. So this is going to be super, super exciting. But yeah, see you in the gym. So because of that extravaganza going on in town, I am very, very late. The gym closes in an hour and a half. I usually take about, after warm-ups, I'm usually lucky to be in the gym for an hour and a half. Like usually I'm there for 2 hours plus, including warm-ups and that sort of thing. So a bit of a rush. So because of that, I won't film this workout. I know it's literally just setting up a camera and a tripod, but it adds up over the course of the session, especially if the gym's busy, which it will be because it's bank holiday. And then like, there's more people starting to navigate around and that. So I won't record it today, but like I said earlier in the video, I will do like a full breakdown of my new split and my new training and that sort of thing as I settle into it. I'll just let it go through its teething stages. A lot of it's similar, a lot of it has changed, just to prioritise different areas. As you can see, my physique shots in previous videos, my legs have always been a weak point. My quads have come up quite a bit, which is good. My hamstrings are still a weak point, but I've reduced the volume because they were just not recovering in between sessions. The frequency, sorry. I think it was just too frequent to try and accommodate with the fact they were weak. So twice a week on leg days, and one leg day is going to be a hip hinge session as well. So we'll see how that works. And also my arms aren't bad, but they're so long that they're not good, if that makes sense. And I just like bigger arms, like especially if I don't compete again. I think I will compete again, but if I wasn't competing, I'd be a bit more, or like less fussy with what areas I wanted to bring up for like a symmetrical look. I'd want a freakishly large back because my back is quite good already, and I don't train it much. Like my total back volume across a week, like it's less than 10 sets for both of my lats, and then less than 10 sets for my upper back as well. It must be like close to like 6 sets for each. Like, it's quite low volume. And I'd like to have a freakishly large back, but obviously it'd look a bit weird on stage. And arms, like arms are another one that you don't want them too big for stage, but at the same time, I don't think anyone can have big arms or too big arms, if that makes sense. So I'd like to get bigger arms. So arms are a main focus of this next push-up phase, really, and then hamstrings as always, and glutes. I'm literally stuck around a car doing 15 miles an hour. It's always the way when it's like in a rush to the gym. And yeah, this pull day now, I used to do hamstrings and adductors on it as well. So they're the things that have gone, and obviously in this place I've got some more arms. I did arms with push yesterday as well, so I've like manipulated the volume a little bit to kind of prioritize biceps today with a little bit of extra volume yesterday. But yeah, anyway, I'll go on to that in a later video. For now, I'm going to go and train pull. I'm going to get a really good session. I'm really excited for this session, and yeah, I'll catch you guys whenever. So guys, I recorded this whole clip and then realised I didn't press record. I actually just took a photo of my face at the start, and it was such it was the best clip I ever recorded. That's like, you know, Tenacious D's tribute version of a clip.
Yeah.
So my meal now is post-workout. I've got 350 grams of skier, oats, almond butter for a change, pink lady, raspberries, blueberries. And one thing I did discuss in the last clip, which is super important, is I have a banana on the side. How do you guys, what do you find is like too much? Like that for me is like gross. They will keep them until they die. And then that for me is like probably a bit too done, but I'll have that one. They're not quite done enough for me. I like brown spots because I like them to be really sweet. But I'd rather have an overdone one than an underdone one, because the underdone ones are just gross. Faye literally, she'll buy, she has a massive fetish for killing things, so she'll buy like 10 bananas.
That's really out of context.
The actual workout was really good. I was saying that I was in a massive rush, I didn't film, which I said before the gym anyway, and I'll probably swap out, I've got like a lat pull down now instead of a pull up, and I'll probably swap out the machine. I use a Panetta one, it's a bit crap, so I'll do a different one next week. But yeah, I'm gonna enjoy this. I'll catch you guys in a bit. So guys, it's actually been a few, let me just turn the light on. It's actually been a few days since the last clip that you saw. After that meal that you saw me have, which I think was a yogurt meal, it's been like 2 days since. 3 days since now? I don't know. Yeah, 3 days. I got like a weird illness which started immediately after that yogurt meal and then just kind of lasted for 2 or 3 days. So I had no appetite. I did record some clips of the actual meals that I had, but I just couldn't talk. I had no motivation to talk, and even if I did try and talk, I just don't think it would come across very exciting. So me and Faye had a meal, which we always do, and even on a diet, I was going to say except for prep, but even on prep, if I can, I'll always have a meal with Faye. Faye, although she misses training, she would like to train, she's not like a bodybuilder, she understands it completely, and she wouldn't care if I had a meal plan for all my meals, but she likes having a meal together. And there's more to just having a meal together than me having my own thing and her having her own thing. And it's so easy to fit in good meals when you're with your partner, like good quality meals that still meet your macros. In a prep, you've got to be a bit more diligent with sauces and that sort of thing, but in a bulk or even a diet, especially the one I'm doing now, which is like just a mini cut, which is nowhere near like the stage or anything. So obviously any diet that isn't like a few weeks out from a show, you can fit a meal in really, really well. Now, I wouldn't recommend going completely off the rails and just kind of fitting in if it fits your macros, that sort of thing. But as you can see from the meal here, which me and Faye had, I was trying to remember what it was, but I can guarantee it was a meat sauce. Oh yeah, it's gammon. So it's gammon, potatoes, and veg. So it's basically a similar thing every night. It's potatoes, because we like potatoes and they're healthy. And when I'm dieting, I just prefer them. I literally parboil them for 5 minutes after I peeled them and then stick them in the air fryer for 20-30 minutes and they look like that. The veg, we vary often, but at the moment it's basically just green beans or 10% broccoli. It's like our favourite. And based on the fats that I have for the day, I'll put olive oil on the chips before I cook them, or if it's 10% broccoli, I'll have it with that instead. And then the meat sauce, again, is literally just this gammon, which is like once a week, maybe once every 2 weeks. Beef, which is quite often usually a steak, or chicken. And the chicken is literally the same thing. If we had chicken and chips, we'd have it with gravy, so like a mini roast dinner. And in the off season, you can be more flexible. You can have extra food, you can have more oils or rice, and just make meals out of that, like chicken fajitas and rice and wraps and that sort of thing. But in the diet, I keep it literally as simple as possible. And it just gives me and Faye that time to kind of like have a meal together that isn't bodybuilding. It is, but it's not bodybuilding like focused when we watch something on TV. At the moment, I don't know what we're watching at the moment. We've just rewatched the first and second Lord of the Rings. That's what we've been watching. So we might watch the third one soon. But they're long films and they're not cheesier than I remember. But that's like part of the entertainment. If that makes sense. But yeah, the last meal we had, again, I'll show you here, and that was just my oatmeal. The only difference is the numbers of the actual food. The quantities hasn't changed. The total macros for each meal would have been shown with the meal, and the total macros for the day will be shown here. As I said, my food has been increased, or it was increased this week. It's almost finished now. This week's Friday now. This video started being recorded on Monday, I think. It's been a while. It was increased in total by about 500 calories a day, plus an extra 100 calories from expenditure. So this week's weight loss has been basically what I planned it would be. And on Monday, or maybe even Sunday, I'll just increase the food again. I'll probably spend about a week in maintenance just to let my body like fill out in terms of glycogen and water, and just not go straight into an off season, just give my body a bit of a break from like fatigue standpoint. So I'll probably just go to maintenance for a week. Based on my rate of loss, I'll probably just increase calories by like 500 or so. I probably won't record during that week because it's not going to be the most exciting. Very similar foods. Most of the calorie increase will come from carbohydrates, probably slightly more fats on a rest day as well. And then after that, the week after that, if I do maintain, I'll just start bumping calories up a little bit more aggressively to begin with. I'm happy to kind of go a little bit faster than a normal rate of gain for the first few weeks. So I'll probably increase them just by 200 every week until I start gaining at a rate that I'm happy with. Or even more, maybe, we'll see. But steps will stay at 10,000. Cardio likely won't increase until I get extra time to do it, but it won't decrease either. Or I'll increase cardio and decrease steps, but it'll most likely just kind of stay at 10,000 steps because it's especially in this weather, it's easy to do and it's enjoyable. But that's it. That's the full day of eating. Sorry it's been so choppy and like all over the place. I don't want to go into too much detail on each meal as to why I'm having them meals, because you've seen it all before, you all know it. But basically 4 or 5 meals a day, depending on the day of the week. And I always have a decent protein bonus of at least 30 grams of HBB protein. I have carbs, mainly peri-workout and pre-bed. And then whatever me and Faye have obviously in that meal there. And then my fats just kind of spread across the day. Not so much on a post-workout meal, but again, it depends. I drink 6 litres of water a day for those asking. Caffeine at the moment is literally a coffee and a pre-workout, or 2 coffees on a rest day. And that's it. That's how progress is made. Just keep it as simple as you possibly can. Training, I just train to failure. I just train with as much volume as I can whilst I'm still like progressing. If something stops progressing, then I'll just amend the volume or the exercise selection, that sort of thing. Obviously, there's more complexities than that, and that's where like a coach comes in handy. But they're like the simple pillars, if you'd like. Sleep well, eat well, drink lots of water, and train hard. But yeah, anyway, guys, I'm going to wrap this one up. As always, like, comment, and subscribe. Any questions, leave them in the description box below, or the question box, I should say. But yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next one.